Cooking is always extremely engaging to the students, and I like the way that when you cook, you can integrate a lot with it. Culture is always integrated, definitely vocabulary, and since it's a level 1A class, that's where a lot of the learning does take place, is starting to build that vocabulary bank. With cooking, I think it's an important life skill. All the students always want to do more of it. One of the biggest goals is for them to be functional. A lot of the 6th to 8th grade standards are usually having a functional vocabulary. So being able to go and order food at a restaurant, going to a store. So when we do this lesson of cooking, it's definitely functional, hands-on, and also bringing in the culture. So one of the biggest goals is that they leave understanding more about jalapenos, that they understand what cilantro is, that they'll be able to connect more with salsa. And it's interesting to hear some of the discussions I hope will take place, is that they'll say, oh, isn't this a pepper? No, it's a jalapeno. And then they'll start to realize, oh, peppers and jalapenos are different in Spanish. What we in English might just be, oh yeah, it's a hot pepper. It's not just that. Today's lesson, it's not a huge assessment today. A lot of it's going to just be quick feedback. I would say today is really not about assessing at all. In the sense, it's going to be about just an instructional day where they're getting experience with the food. One of the reasons why I like to cook is because there's research that shows people that learn new vocabulary, that targets more of their senses, seeing it, smelling it, tasting it, feeling it, looking at it. They are able to learn that vocabulary quicker than if it's just shown with a picture and told, oh, repeat after me, this is a jalapeno. But now that they actually get to go and look at it, and we'll be like, okay, smell the cilantro, that'll make more sense to them, and than just simply I think more of a traditional way of just look at the picture, learn the word. So ultimately the assessment's going to come in the form of a conversation, of ordering these foods from a menu in quarter 3. So it is leading up to more summative, hands-on, that they understand, oh, this is the typical kind of food that we would see on a menu, and that's what this means. If I ordered a salsa, these are the things that are going to come with it. So. Today you're going to see us start the class immediately with a group discussion about safety. And I tell my kids from the very beginning that my first job in being your teacher isn't to teach you. And they're like, what? I'm like, what do you mean by that? I said, my first job is to keep you safe. And today there's 2 things that we need to make sure we're going to agree upon. And I just set the expectation off right from the beginning that they're going to be safe with the knives, and that they're also going to be safe with washing their hands, handling the food correctly. So at the door, actually, when I greet them, I'll be sending the young men to go wash their hands in the bathroom, and then the ladies will come in, put their things down, and go wash their hands at the sink in the back. So that is one of the ways today I'll set the expectation immediately. Also the way that the room is arranged, even though the chairs are in the middle, I don't want students in the middle. They're only supposed to stay on the outside of the table where they can all have access to the demonstration table where I'll start the lesson. But it also allows me to easily walk in a circle around and see all the groups at once. And we're going to do a big reminder about taking turns, going slowly. So just setting the expectations off from the beginning, constantly monitoring and walking around. And honestly, I do trust the students that they also want to be safe. They know that it's constantly earning trust and building trust in the classroom with different labs if they want to continue to go on. And because they are respectful and responsible, they know that they can do this, and I do trust them. And definitely it's hands-on. They love cooking. They love eating. The students also, they do like speaking in Spanish. So today's going to be a lot of listening and repeating after me. Let's find the cilantro, and then they're going to say it. And I think that they will overall really enjoy today's hands-on lesson. One of the discussions that we do have about being a global citizen is around food. That I don't know if you will see it today so much, but when we do talk about how do we eat in other countries, one of the things I tell them, you're not allowed to call things that's disgusting. You're not allowed to say words like, oh, that's so gross. Because what you might find disgusting and gross, other people are going to say, that's my favorite food, or that's a delicacy. So I'm trying, the overarching theme of being in Spanish level 1 is that we're global citizens. So we all, whether or not we want to continue learning about Spanish, we all have a responsibility to know about other cultures that are around us and available that we might most likely come into contact with. So we're going to talk about how to be respectful when approaching eating. And also, in English, we don't really say buen provecho or bon appetit to each other. We might say grace at the table, or someone might say, oh, let's do a prayer. So we will at the end talk about, that's an important part of showing respect. Where I learned Spanish in Puerto Rico is that if you're looking at someone who's eating, you need to just immediately tell them buen provecho. And the kids are like, well, what exactly does that mean? And it's one of the interesting things that doesn't fully translate into English. You're kind of like just saying, oh, enjoy your meal, but more than that, you're saying, we hope that you take good advantage of it, that it's healthy for your body. So it's almost very similar to what many English speakers would consider as a form of grace, I guess.